Must know, yeah. Come. What is my favorite P word? That's right. So I need you to participate. Get your mind open. We had wellness, mental wellness, we had financial wellness, and now digital wellness. And what does that look like? And how can you enter that space and be well in that space, holistically well? So I want to invite one of our directors here at the NCB Foundation, an amazing creative entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya Mattis! Woo-hoo-hoo! Hello. You know what? As the first one up, you can choose any one. But wait, one of them has $1 million under it. Choose, choose well. She's a winner. I make a sure business. No, we're going to make $1 million. I'm putting it out there. This chair that you're sitting in, somehow we're going to make $1 million out of this seat today. What say you? Can I get up? Yes. You got to believe it to achieve it. If the mind can conceive it and believe it, we can achieve it. With the right mind, right mindset, we can get anything we want. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also would like to invite online Alicia Little, digital business coach and definitely a partner with the NCB Foundation, providing amazing level up courses for individuals. And so partnership for the goals, partnerships to make dreams work. Let's welcome Alicia Little online. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Empress. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
She always looks so fabulous online.
Thank you. Thank you.
How many of you have done the Level Up program? Yeah, or Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude, did you get a book as yet? No, you come here, Jean-Claude. Come up here. Come on, cheer him on, cheer him on, cheer him on, cheer him on. Woo! You get a book courtesy of Crystal Thomason because you are just amazing. And you know why you're getting this? Because the man show up in him shots. The man with nice legs. And the show them the shoes, Jean. I mean, to be recognized in a crowd is a special gift. Where the shades? Oh, they're back there. I'm going to give you this book, courtesy of Crystal Thomason and the NCB Foundation, for just being Jean-Claude. There's a quick lesson in that, and I want to share with you a facts in life. If you want to go far in life, you have to be remembered. Remembered for something. Your attitude, the energy, the creative. Forget Jean-Claude today. Not just because he's in fancy shoes and shorts, but he's participating. And when we ask how many of you are part of 1, 2, 3 programs, his hand went out, so we're like, oh, you're engaged. You're hungry for this. You're seeking opportunities. So I encourage you, as somebody that works with a lot of young people, show up. Show up. Stand out. Be recognized and be remembered. When I was growing up, my dad always said, your attitude determines your altitude. Never forget that. I felt compelled to share that with you. Because some young people have an attitude, boy, you're not going to be remembered at all. You're more a problem than an asset. You understand? So I want you to come in with that energy. Yes, smile. Look engaged. Yes, that's how you are remembered. Say yes to be remembered. Yes. And now I'd like to invite 2 young people. Oh, I have 1 seat out. Okay. Can we have 3 young people so we don't have any empty chairs? Okay, thank you. What we're going to do is, hold on. I'm going with the flow, right? I'm fixing a problem. And that's what we're all going to do, right? Say yes. It's not a problem. I'm making things work. I want to invite Nakonda Valentine and Javon Joseph. Come on. Yes. And then I'm going to open up the final floor for any young person who wants to be in that seat. First young person to get up here and sit in the other chair. She not done lunch yet. You're going to volunteer her? Thank you. Well, this is the next thing now. What I was looking for was for one of you to just jump up and say yes. Because you don't know what opportunity lies when you get up into that chair. Why did you not jump up? You felt you didn't have something to contribute? You weren't sure what you were going to be asked? You're afraid to be on the stage and in the spotlight? Well, Crystal Tomlinson's book said, kill. You will lose opportunities if you hesitate. It's the same thing I was telling my son, big baller right now in Porus, right now, about to play a match in the rain. And we win every match, by the way, Emmanuel Christian Academy, prep school champions. Yes, I just want to suck a mom. But you can't hesitate. If you hesitate, you miss the ball, right? You can't hesitate. So I'm going to ask the question again. I want one young person to just come and sit here and be a part of the conversation. All right? Yes, you look, and stop. Hey, brother, go back. Show back, go back. He got up to call. Then he got up. Then he hesitated because he saw our next competitor coming. Why? We are giving him a chance for your time. Come sit down. Yes. Give him a chance when you're winning. Well, you guys are kind because I ain't giving up my slot for nobody right now. Not until I'm in a position where I'm able to do that. It's very competitive out there. Don't miss your opportunity. And once you're big and you have a Michael Lee Chin status and enough money with an organization like NCB, then you can start to give back and sit down and relax on your boat and give your brother, you understand? A little change. Don't miss an opportunity. Stop hesitating in life. All right? We're going to be dead soon. Life is short. Yeah. Oh, yeah? Death is much longer than life. Life short. 70 + 10. What you going to do with it? Stop hesitating. All right? You never know when your number is going to be called, so live well and live and be remembered. All right? Doing what you love, making money, and being well. You ready? Yeah. Are we ready? Yeah. Say yes. All right, game changers. Young people dreaming big, young people embracing change, the Limitless crew and the Disruptor crew. Let's get this panel discussion going. We're going to start with Kenya Mattis, my fellow NCB director, to kind of set the tone because you know what you want to hear, you know what you want to give, but I think it's important I ask you know, instead of asking you a question, for you to kickstart the conversation and set the tone as we look at digital wellness. Kenya Mattis!
Thank you very much, fellow director. I think that this is a very interesting topic, what career path you're on right now. And I'm wondering how many of us in this room are on a career path or if we actually know where we want to go. So hands up if you know what you want to do with your life. All right, hands up if you're still figuring it out. Okay, so we have a healthy mix here in the room. How many of us in here are interested in having a digital career? That's pretty much all. Is there anyone in here who does not have a digital career in mind? Okay, which one is that? Okay, which one is that? Which career is that in the medical field? Being a doctor, okay. That is interesting. Do you think that there is a capacity for some digital tools?
Let's go right there, Kenya. COVID taught us that doctors were making money online like crazy by zooming in for what do you call it, a meeting.
I'll tell you this much. My grandma, and I didn't plan to talk about this, but she was diagnosed with cancer during the height of the COVID period. And that's a time when you do not want somebody who is over 80 to be in a hospital. And we were very unsure about what to do. Someone recommended a doctor or a clinic who's based in Montego Bay. She's in Spanish Town. It was through medical consultations online, through using Calendly, using Zoom, and just him being able to see her face before we were going, to visit in person. That's how he was able to save her life. So I would not say that in the medical field or even being a doctor that, that's not a digital profession. If you're using digital tools or platforms to enhance your reach and to help you to actually make products or to reach your audience, then you can be in a digital career. And it doesn't really matter what field you're in. It could be in agriculture, construction, medicine, it could be manufacturing, it could be in real estate, any type of field at all. There's really no limit to what those careers could be. But I think the question that I find very interesting is, how do you find your career? How do you find your path in this digital maze of, finding your career? Because there are so many careers that you can choose. How many people in here want to be in software development? Any software developers here? Okay. We have anybody here who is interested in any other specific type of digital career, like content management or digital media, digital marketing? We have some persons here as well. We have anybody who wants to be social media, a social influencer? Okay, we have some influencers here in the room as well. The foundation will be taking note of that, by the way, because they'll want to make sure that we capitalize on that. But there are so many careers, there are so many fields. How do you find your path? And so I think one of the key things that I'd love for us to look at today, Empress, to answer your question is, no matter what field you're in, there is a change right now in business. So I don't know if anyone here had heard about ever heard about a value chain before? This vague concept in business where value chain is about, you have raw material. It's basically how do you create value in business, right? You start with raw material, then you produce something, then after that you have to sell it and distribute it, and then after that you have support services. With digital business or in any field right now, it's not a chain. I want you to envision a cycle or a circle. Think of it as, first of all, who is it that you're solving a problem for at the center of the circle? You want to tell a story to that person. You want to grow your community of those people. Then you build a product for those persons. And then you sell. And then after that, you tell your story again. And then you grow more people again. And then you build more products to solve more problems that that community has. And then you sell them again. And as that cycle continues, wherever you are on that journey, there is a different skill set that is required for you to be on that path. So if you are naturally a creative person, where along that cycle might you find yourself? In the content creation, telling of your story part of that cycle. Because that is the most critical part of being able to differentiate yourself nowadays. Nowadays, people are not just buying products, they're buying your story. They're buying you. They're buying your heart and soul. They're buying your why. They're buying your vision. They're looking for somebody to identify with in the product that they are buying. Because there's so many different platforms and everybody's on social media selling, or two people can sell the same thing, and I might choose to buy from one person because I want to be a part of your story. And then if you're an organizer, then maybe an organizer might be a very good community manager to help to grow the community, organize events around the community, engage the community. If you love problem solving, then maybe being in the product development space might be where you want to be. Figure out what's wrong, figure out how to tweak it, figure out what some of the inputs are that you need to go into it and how you're going to find those raw materials. And then if you are into engaging people and you love analytics and you love numbers, then you might be in the sales part of that cycle, because now you have to actually get the product into people. You have to analyze the figure and the data that's coming in. You have to figure out where your customers are, how you can better reach them. And also, very importantly, what is the feedback coming back from your customers to improve your product along that cycle. And once you get that information, you pull it back again into content creation, community building, product development, and sales. And it's that cycle in whatever industry you're in, whether it's real estate, whether it's medicine, whether it is construction or manufacturing, that is going to make the difference or elevate you from just depending on, production, raw materials, and logistics and sales, to using the data that you can gather from a digital platform to enhance the production and the sales of your company, of your product. And so it's with that in mind that I want us to have this conversation now about where do you find your path, not based on what is out there alone, but based on your passion, your skill sets, and where you can fit into that cycle.
And I think it's a perfect time now to ask our young persons on the panel, starting with Mr. Wilson. I like it, Mr. Wilson. Starting with Mr. Wilson, following up on what Kenya is asking, what is your passion? How do you find your career? And maybe tell us what you want to do. Let's hear from you, all of you here. What do you want to do, and how does it work digitally? How can you achieve that in the digital world?
Well, I want to be an actuary. I want to go to the highest level and be a fellow and do this fellowship, right? So actuaries are versatile and they can work across a lot of fields. I don't think there's a field that we can't go into. So it was this intriguing. I wanted to know a lot. So I was thinking careers that would have what do I say now? So I wanted to know. I was a little curious, right? So I was thinking careers that could help satisfy my curiosity. So, astronaut was one, researcher was another, actuarial science was the next one, right? So after carefully researching, then I chose actuarial science, and researching, it's all parts of the digital process. So now that I've chosen my path, as I said before, we have a lot of options. So we can go into advisory, and in advisory, you have to constantly know how products change, how the world moves, how technology changes. You can't advise a company on their strategies and how to plan their business operations if you don't know what's next to come, right? So that's all a part of being an actuary. The next is it's the general work of an actuary. The traditional work is insurance. Business insure their goods. Business insure their future, right? So basically the future. So you have to know what the company sells. If it's a digital company, you have to know about that as well. It's the same for persons. Persons the demographic as a whole. You have to understand how they move, and using digital tools, then it helps in that area as well, right? So.
Thank you. All right, the role of actuaries in the digital space and for digital careers and technology, so something to explore. Next, we have, that was Mr. Wilson, Mr. Valentine.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Hold on. Him hold the mic like an artist, man. One say, yeah, good afternoon. That's it.
Yes.
No,
Good
don't cover the mic. Okay, mic lesson 101, because we're here to learn everything, right? Hello. Don't talk loud like me, because me have a look at this order. But just, hello, da-da-da-da. And if you get louder, ha! You understand? Don't follow me. Follow the rules.
Yes, so hello again.
Yeah.
My area of study is electronics, but it's actually a double major because it's NCARBs, renewables, and energy choices. So my studies, I say it's very digital. It has a lot of digital component because as it says electronics, electronics are basically what the digital market is about, So how I developed, or why I came about this really was, I've always found myself to be intrigued about energy and different energy sources, because we need energy to do everything. We need electricity. So I basically was on I wouldn't say I had this initially planned out from day one. I knew definitely that I wanted to be in the STEM area, but I wouldn't say I had it definitely mapped out that yes, this is what I'm going to go to the university to achieve, and this is what I'm going to study. But as Nadine said, it basically depends on what you want, what your interest is, what you find yourself driven about, because the workload that you're going to take up and study in a certain area, it's a lot. So you definitely want this to be something that you really want for yourself to basically take it up, because it's a lot of workload, basically. Yeah.
Okay. We're writing, we're taking notes, we're seeing what you're doing, where your studies are and your plans are, so we can see how we can help to get you ready for the career, especially in the fast-paced digital economy. So let's hear from you now, Mr. Joseph.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right, so I'm Javon. Okay, so my field of study is web development, right? We shape the digital world. The reason why I choose to do web development, it's a case where relating to like the health sector, right? And we not having a digital database in which we can keep our records, and even with the criminal record here, right? That's one, those are two reasons why I chose the web development. It's a very good career path, right? And I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
I have a question for you if you don't mind.
What are you
Sure.
nervous for? He's so eloquent.
Yeah, because when you say we shape the webinar,
I felt like, who, me?
to me that was a mic drop
We-
moment. Like we're talking to somebody who is and mentioning, shaping the web of Jamaican companies and Jamaican record keeping is such a huge problem
Right.
Yeah.
to
Right.
solve.
Yeah.
Like,
And Kenya, what you've just done is fill the gap.
exactly.
Right.
You've answered, you've given us a solution to a problem in the country, and that's where we want you young people to be thinking. And guess what? You're going to make all the money because nobody else now do it. Beautiful! So stop being nervous, Siobhan.
My question to you is, were you motivated initially by the problem that you wanted to solve, or were you attracted to web development first?
Well, I was attracted to it, but as we were speaking earlier, in which I moved away from it to the business side. But based on the issues that I'm seeing in Jamaica, it got me thinking that I have to go ahead to try and change this in Jamaica, change this problem. 'Cause it's a very major problem. Yeah.
Can I say something, please?
No, Kenya, you can't.
Okay, so I was speaking to you before, and also to a young lady at the back who I will not point to directly, but I am. But one thing you said was super important, which is, sometimes in terms of finding your path to your successful digital career, because what we don't want you to do is to just take up a career because it's going to pay money, and that is it. Because as you were rightfully mentioning, if you're really going to excel to the point where you can make 6 figures US in a career, it's going to be very time consuming. You're going to need to spend hours upon hours on doing this thing. So you probably want to do it in an area that you feel motivated by and that you feel passionate about. When you're talking about a problem, sometimes you don't necessarily know what it is that you are, what's your purpose or what you're really being called to do. But just by you following your interest in web development, you stumble upon a problem, and then that now becomes, a burden upon you. Say, yo, me have to solve that problem there and change the game there. So I think that's a super important point. I just wanted to make sure that we highlight.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'm excited. So you mean there are criminals that aren't recorded? No, just trying to-
Well, the database, criminal database, it's a bit slow, backlog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we should get up to date, get up to speed with the global world.
And you're the man to do it. Javon, front page of the newspaper. Solve the problem. 2024. We got to have goals. We got to set dates. You got work to do. We're giving you 2 years. Okay. Now I want to invite an amazing woman who can help us to earn income on the internet and has been a partner with the NCB Foundation for years. Oh my God, she's helped so many people level up. Just when you think you're too old to do it, boom, you learn a new skill, making that money. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite Alicia Little, our panelist. She is also the CEO of Internet Income Jamaica Limited, and she's going to be right here with us online.
Thank you, Empress. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm so
Hello.
excited to be here and talking about my favorite topic, the digital economy. And I know that we have a lot of level up students in the audience and a ton of you online. So, first, I want to say, great topic, great discussion. Um, as Kenya was talking about, the first thing that she was talking about, really about your passion and how do you figure out what that thing is that you can sell online? And I'd like to talk about how do you figure out what that skill is that you have that you can sell online. So think about something that you can do. Now let's use some level up students as an example first. So what is something that you can do? And let's keep it simple first. So I'm just actually going to go to my computer and look at some of our level up students' Fiverr profiles. So my favorite website online to start your digital career is Fiverr.com. I talk about it all the time. It's where we start all the level up students. If you're a level up student and you already know this or you've heard me talk about it, just raise your hand, or if you're in the chat, just say, yes, you already know this, but it's Fiverr.com. And just to give you an example, I'm looking at Danique's profile right now, and she creates social media and email accounts for people. She also does cold calling services. So she uses an app on her phone she just uses her smartphone. It's called Text Now and Text Plus. And for companies in America, she calls the list of clients that they want her to call. She's also a virtual assistant. She has a full-time company that she works for in Canada, being their virtual assistant, just doing admin services. So those are some of the things that she does. Shay is another level up student. She teaches people how to cook Jamaican meals. So she enjoys cooking. She also is a personal online fitness trainer. I have a few level up students who do this. So people will hire them to get on Zoom and do a 30-minute session with them and be a fitness trainer. And she's also a body double. We'll talk about body doubling in a minute. And she also does transcription services, which are very popular. And transcription is just taking something that is a video or an audio, for example, this amazing Zoom session, and typing it up. So much content was covered today. How many of you would love for today's session to be typed up and delivered to you in email? Just say yes if you love that, right? So that is a transcript. But in today's digital world, a transcript can be created using artificial intelligence. So there's two tools that level up students use. One is called Temi at TEMI.com, and the other is Otter at Otter, OTTER dot, let me see, hang on. I'm going to go to Google. I think it's Otter.ai. Somebody's going to tell me. Yep, in the chat, they told me one of the level up students, it's Otter.ai, and you can go there, upload this whole Zoom meeting, and it'll be completely transcribed for you. That means that a machine will type out all the words that we said today. Crazy, right? So that's transcription. And now I want to talk about Kamar. Hang on, let me take a sip of water. I get so excited I talk fast, but Kamar is one of our star students as well. He's an alumni of the Level Up program. He graduated from the last program. And I spoke to him today, and he does a few things. He writes wedding vows and speeches, okay? He's also a tutor for students. He has 9 students that he's tutoring right now. But his favorite thing that he does is he's a body double. And I'm gonna tell you what it is. He did body doubling for 3 clients last night, and he said that he made $35 last night. So we talk in US currency because on Fiverr, all your clients pay you in US dollars. So I'm almost done. I'm going to tell you about Kamar, then I'm going to tell you about the 3 guys that talked on the panel, and I'm going to wrap it up. But what Kamar does as a body double is people will pay him to watch them work. So a body double's job is to be your productivity partner. So Kamar says, I will watch you work to keep you on target. So all he does is he sits on Zoom. And while you're working, he's doing other things. He's usually tutoring someone on his phone or on another computer. He's watching you work. And if you get up, he's like, hey, where are you going? Come back and sit down. You have to finish your work. And they're like, oh, yeah. So he just keeps you focused. And so he did it for 3 people yesterday, and they pay him to do that. Now, the interesting thing about Kamar is that he only has a 10th grade education. He has 2 kids. He's at home with them. He said last night he had the baby in his arms. He was tutoring someone, and he was being a body double with his clients. And, he was just giving a lot of props to the Level Up program, because without the Level Up program, he would not have this type of opportunity or even be able to earn online in Jamaica. But all of his clients are global. None of them are in Jamaica. So the digital economy is very global. Now, I just want to talk about the Accrual, the gentleman that talked about the accounting. So the interesting thing about that is that on Fiverr and Upwork, that type of accounting is highly paid online. So when you look up, and we do have some students in Jamaica that do that, but when you look up the financial and accounting services and just plain old consulting, they're usually making between $45 and $175 per project hour doing that kind of service online. So if that is your passion, even taking it global, is amazing. And when we're talking about web design, 2 things. One, we do web design as well. We charge about between $2,000 and $5,000 US dollars per client, but I would really focus on NCB, the NCB merchant system, because a lot of Jamaican companies, if you're not doing this already, want to have websites where they can take orders online. And if you can solve that problem where they can't build a website that ties into the NCB system and you can make it tie in, then that's absolutely amazing. So, step number 1 is to really see what you're passionate about, create a whole business around it. It can be something as simple as cooking or watching somebody do body doubling or doing transcription, web design, bookkeeping. So Carrie, that does bookkeeping, she makes an average of $6,000 US a month, while Leighton, who's been featured in the newspaper, she's been featured on Smile Jamaica, she makes an average of $6,000 US dollars a month too, right here in Jamaica, doing transcription. Like, there's so much that you could do online. So just really find what you want to do, dig into it, and know that having a digital career is global. It is a lot of fun, and whatever you decide to do, you can do it. Empress, I'll throw it back to you because I could talk all day about making money online.
And I am writing down, I said, oh my God, Alicia, long time no see, miss you, always love the work that you're doing, but you always enlighten us. And start us thinking. I'm like, what? A body double? If you watch it, so me can sit on there and just watch a man work and make money? Sure. I am ready. And what you've just done, Lady Little, is encourage us to start to dream and think outside of that so-called box that they like to have us in, like be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a teacher. And some of you are already on Fiverr. But let's think about what can we do that's completely different that somebody may need. Digitally. I want y'all to start thinking. Write down one crazy thing right now. And I want to hear what they are. Yes, come to the microphone for me, please. And Kenya, you're going to continue leading this digital conversation because you're the creative boss and entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, or it's evening, right? So one thing I was thinking of, right, is that you could, so you know that like when you're renting a house or having an open house, instead of driving to the house, you could have the open house online.
Yes, great idea. So it's like that virtual tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And that's even taking it to another level because you do have virtual views But to tour it and have interaction with the owner or whoever the real estate agent is, that's taking it to a whole nother level now. You can have conversation in real time. Hold on, go back to the bathroom again. All right, and you can have the conversation while looking. So that's definitely a product and service that could be done digitally. Anybody else have some more ideas? Go ahead, Alicia.
Empress, one of the things he could do as well, I'm guessing he's good in photography or videography, is that if you go on Fiverr, real estate agents will pay you to go to that house and take the photos, edit the photos, and give them the photos. On average, agents pay, it depends, but about 150 US dollars. I'm not sure about what the market is in Jamaica to do that because I've only seen it on Fiverr, but you could work it out on what it would be. But absolutely, you could take the photos and take the videos. It's always a big market, real estate agents, and doing that for them because it's the photos and the videos that sell a house.
Yep. There we go. Anybody else? All right. Did you all come up with an idea? I need one creative idea that you can do digitally, which is outside of the box, the weirdest thing. Yes, Jada. We want you on the mic, though, Jada. Okay, here we go. Make it easy for you.
So basically, I would learn your personality and send you special curated funny videos. So I would search TikTok based on your personality and send you funny videos. That's crazy.
People need that. And guess what? When I was sad, my psychologist said to me, listen, while you're crying, just go turn on a funny movie. And I felt so much better. So you would find out their personality and go and curate content for them and send them to make them happy for their entertainment. That's a great idea. I can see a lot of people using that. I mean, they buy farts online, flatulence bags or whatever they call it. You never knew that? Oh, sorry. Guys, can I just say, I'm going weird and outside the box. I have seen people pay people to sit down and watch them eat food. You turn on your Zoom, eat the food, and somebody send you money to do that. Oh, gosh, come on, let's get wild.
I don't want us to take for granted that loneliness is a huge problem globally. There are a lot of people who don't have friends. That just having human interaction is a precious, precious thing for many people. I don't take what we have for granted, but there are some problems that people have that you wouldn't even think about solving. But if you can think of any specific problem that you have had, any pain point, if you think about the last 30 minutes and something came to you and you said, I wish so-and-so could have had more. I wish a chair never really feel or sit down that way. Or, so why that hurt me? Or, you know what I mean? Anything at all from any interaction with anything or any person is an opportunity for a problem. And I really think that going back to even the mental wellness conversation we were having earlier, I think it was you guys that had mentioned the fact that any pain that you have makes you actually the best person to solve that problem. Because if you are designing a solution for yourself, and so you would buy your own service, then what you really need to do now is to tell that story. So what you're really doing is finding other people who have experienced that problem too. And now you have a community of people who have the same problem you have, and they're going to buy your product because they know that you identify with them. So any pain that you've had, write it down as a potential opportunity whenever you're journaling, whenever you're thinking of what to do. Sometimes the shoes squeezing us for a reason. You need to design a new shoes. Because other people whose foot shaped like you with a bunny on, they need that shoes too, right? So even thinking about what we are good at, sometimes we don't know what we're good at because it's easier for someone else to see that in us. But if we know what problems we have and we have ideas of how to solve it, we may be the best ambassador, the best person to design a solution for my problem and for other people who share the problem as well.
Thanks for that, Kenya. Real talk, let's get creative. This is a creative digital session, looking at ways that we can capture your ideas to help you, right, to thrive in the digital world and economy. But you got to get creative. You got to think outside of what you know. I love Jada's idea. I can see people saying, I need content on financial wellness. Find me the top 10 videos in the world and send them to me because I don't have time to scroll.
How would you describe the problem that you're solving? It's convenience. So and to write a valid proposition is very simple. For insert person here with insert problem here, I will insert solution here. So for busy individuals who have no time, that's the problem that they have.
Or for lonely individuals who need a good laugh at the end of a hard day,
right.
I will create the content for you to keep you happy every evening.
Exactly.
And if you like cats, I'll give you all the funniest cat videos. All right? So this is a great idea. You get a $50 Amazon card for that, Jado, for starting and kick-starting the thought process. Panelists. Eh?
Her new business.
Her new business. I mean, hey, maybe that $50 Amazon will help you find something on there to kickstart it. Let's go to you now, sir. I want to hear from you all. I want a creative, outside of the box concept that you can create online in your field to solve a problem. I want you to go as far left as you can, or as far right.
I'm not sure if it's far left, but it's something within the insurance field. So I'm thinking it would, even though there are variables to consider, I'm thinking if we are able, it's something along the web design as well, but if we're able to create a web page that automatically gives maybe a rating to your risk level on I wouldn't say interest, but sometimes insurance and investments as well. We can add that in, investments. And you'll use that as, not as gospel, but as a reference on whether or not you should take that risk.
So a tool to test your risk profile?
Yes. Or the risk level of what you're doing.
Okay. So that's a great idea. And that could be in the form of an app.
Right.
Love it. Let's clap him. Great idea. Let's go. All right. We're gonna take so many more. Guys, jump on the microphone. Come on. And jump on. Big up my Talk Up Youth family who just slipped in. Right off Talk Up Radio on Nationwide, 11 to 1 every Saturday. All right, let's go. All right. I like this. All right, the microphone is yours.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yes.
All right, so good afternoon. First off, my name is Damian Rose. The idea that I had was public speaking simulation. So basically, let's say someone is kind of nervous about public speaking, they have their speech written down, but they're not good when it comes to crowds. So I would be like that person on the Zoom call or whatever. They would practice talking to me. They would give me their speech. I would basically pretend to be a crowd. I'd ask them questions. I'd give them feedback. I'd say, okay, so how do you plan on doing this based on what you've said? So I'd pretend to be a crowd. So therefore, when it comes that they actually have to give that speech, they could somewhat envision the whole crowd as you are right now as being my face. So it helps them with the public speaking.
That's a great idea.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow. All right, you get a book courtesy of Crystal Thomas and the Kill Fair. That's a great, I love this. Great ideas. Come get your book. Ooh, Lord, nobody drop, you know.
Very good. Okay, so my name is Sabrina Barnes. Good afternoon. All right,
Sabrina.
so I have two ideas actually, because I wanted to overdo it. Yeah. All right, so you know how us as ladies, it takes so long to get dressed?
Yeah.
So I would be there and I'll tell you, no, this don't fit you. I'll tell you right before that, listen, this is the event and this is what you need to get done. So it's like a dress up to get you dressed early on time. It's convenient and it's for ladies, for men, for everybody. You know, we spend so much time in the mirror wondering if it fits. I will tell you if it fits you or not. You know? Save time. Another one, a mom meter. So basically somebody to keep you in check, tell you if you're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, guiding you along the way, always in your ear. Because my mom keeps me in check all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I get dressed at a mom check. I love it. Thank you. All right. I love them, guys. These are all great ideas.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody. All right. So I'm Nicholas Williamson, and my idea is an individual who is like an audiobook in a sense. Right? So for example, if I, like me, have a really nice voice, And for individuals, so individuals who do not like reading, for example, you send me your textbook or your law assignment or anything that is long to read, and I'll just read it for you. And you'd be like, rewind, and I'll rewind for you. Or, or you'd be like, hold on, pause there, just wait a moment, just a bit, and you'd be like, oh, read it again. So something like that, I believe, could work.
I love it. I love it. Big up my Talk Up You crew with the nice voice. All right, let's go. I'm loving these ideas. Right,
Good afternoon,
Kenya?
everyone. Hi, Empress. Good afternoon. My name is Chanel McPherson. I'm more to the cybersecurity side. So I'm all about securing data. That is important. And my project idea, I'm still in the planning process of doing it. Name of it is called Disguise. Now, what Disguise is doing, it is a glasses company, whereas it is linked with the government's database system. Now, with that being said, it's able to detect criminals and criminal activities. Now, if I should look at Empress using those glasses, then I'll be able to pull in, Empress database from the government's system to tell whether or not Empress is some kind of criminal personnel. Also, my idea is going to be extended to bank systems. So instead of the persons in the bank having to pull up the customer's profile, that glass that is now being present at the bank, in which you're going up to do the transaction, that glass, the program is going to also be embedded in that glass so that their database comes up automatically once they come up to the glass.
That's
so that's
biometrics. That's
yeah. So I'm doing a lot of biometric study at the moment.
I love that. NCB, let's go. Let's go. From your Rita Teller, hello, Mrs. Golding. Your last transaction was last week. What would you like to do this week? We noticed that you've been overspending this week. Would you like to open an investment account? Would you like to speak to a special advisor? Or how else can I help you? Great idea. I love it.
All right, good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone. I am Javon Ling. I'm currently studying computer science, and I think the field that fascinates me the most would be big data. So what I want to create would be a platform that I would call it My Call. And when you go on that platform, you are able to connect with a call with somebody else. Let's say I want to have both a professional and a social aspect to it. So let's say you're doing a paper on neuroscience. When you go on that platform and let's say you input neuroscience, it would connect you to other professionals who would have the requisite talent and skills and degree for that field, and you can communicate on that. They can help you with your paper. If it's just social, some of us here are recluse who don't have that much friends. That's the reality.
How did you know?
Oh my.
Is it that obvious?
No, if you go on the social aspect, you put in what you like. World Cup is coming up. Let's say my team is Argentina. That is it. You can go match with other Argentina fans. You go on a call, and you know that aspect is there. You can communicate.
So it's a networking
It's
app.
a networking
really.
app.
And that's
So
a
it's like
great
a call.
idea.
Thank you.
Well done. Loving these ideas. Yes, sir.
It's a good day. My name is Antonio Brown, and my idea is an augmented reality program because I'm a lifeguard and he's my mentee, really, so I'm teaching him to swim. So I have to be at the pool physically with him, and we all have school and thing, and we have to just be scheduling our time, and we don't get enough time to do it. So having an augmented reality program that we could teach him how to swim using that. So he will have the pool.
In the bedroom?
Yeah, in the bedroom.
On your bed?
On your bed.
I
or
swim.
somewhere, yes. So you can show him what to do, and he can actually do these things without having to go to the pool. That would be great.
That's cool. That'd be hot. Because guess what? 90% of Jamaica can't swim. And so you have a large market right there. It's a great idea, bro. So you're a lifeguard? That's pretty cool. Anybody else in here can't swim? Lord.
Look at your target market.
Wow. We have the first client. Right. Let me say that again. How many of you cannot swim? Oh, wow. So You know, we may need this sooner than later. This is outside. Well, this is outside of. Well, maybe it fits into something we can create. It does. We do need to learn to swim, and if you have children, teach them to swim. Especially, you know, and it's the water is so beautiful. You know, it's therapeutic. It's good for exercise, and it will save your life if you ever need to be able to get out of some treacherous waters. So I encourage us all to learn. You're never too old to learn, right, lifeguard? And I just want to add this because we're talking about careers, and I know I just can't. Whenever there's an opportunity for young people, I have to share it. There's a shortage of lifeguards in America right now. There's a shortage of lifeguards in a lot of countries. So if you can train to be a lifeguard and you can swim, there are opportunities when you travel abroad. You can have 4 or 5 jobs. We're talking about, yeah, multiple streams of income earlier. So you have to upskill and have many things that you can do so you can survive, yeah, wherever you go. All right? So I thought I would share that one. Interesting.
Yes.
Mr. Mendez.
All right.
He needs a gift certificate.
Yes, so this right here. So for me personally, I don't necessarily like to share ideas.
Why?
Personally.
Talking to Mike.
Personally speaking, I don't like to share ideas
but you feel
until
compelled
it's executed.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I do have an idea in November. It was a personal project that, you know, we wanted to do through our company. So it's called Jam Quiz, right? You can go on the App Store and you can download the app. So it's a quiz that you download, and currently we have biology, English language, and mathematics, right? So you earn while you learn. So while you play the game and answer questions, it basically gives you points, and that points can actually be redeemed into GMD.
This
So
is your idea?
Yes, this is our idea, yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Mendez.
Yes, that's
and it's currently on...
It's currently on the Play Store, so you can go on it. It doesn't have a lot of, because we haven't done any promo on it, right? So you guys can take out on the phone, there's internet, right? So it's called Jam Quiz, right? So you go on it, you download, you sign up for it, and then afterwards we have 3 subjects, right? We can add more subjects, but the thing is that we have limited because it's a personal project and it's not necessarily like a good company. So we have over 1,500 questions currently. So if there's any potential volunteers who would like to submit like questions, we do have a web. I'm a full stack developer, by the way. Right?
A what, sorry?
I'm a full stack developer, right? So I create websites, softwares, like web development and so forth, and apps. So, yeah. So the great thing about it, is that, you know, it's not like those apps where, you know, you play like the Candy Crush and then afterwards all the revenues go to the big companies. It's split, right, between the app owners and also the users, right?
You know what?
You understand?
First thing I want to say to you, Mr. Mendez, you want volunteers, but you want investors and you want customers. Let's start with that language when we talk about growing your business. Yeah. Volunteerism is what I do at the children's home, where you don't get paid. This is some money. Yes, so let's look at, okay, yes, how do we all become customers? I need to find not my Apple phone, the other one, Android. Yeah. So we're all how many of us can commit to downloading the app on our Android software? Look at your customer base just grow. Yeah, all right, let's start there. Second thing, and then I'm going to ask Kenya to come in. Jam Quiz?
Jam Quiz. So Jam Quiz.
Quiz.
Right, so it's like, what's the logo? The logo is Jamaica flag. So it's centered around, even though it's a global app, because anyone can basically download it. Mm-hmm. It's basically for the Jamaican audience. So only Jamaican users can actually earn points.
At this point.
At this point.
But guess what? It can grow. So what you need now, as an entrepreneur, I like to see the business from the beginning to the end. What you need now is partners who are going to give you rewards, such as Amazon, such as Fontana, such as all of these companies can say, we'll offer this in rewards. Rewards doesn't have to be all cash alone. What I would like the team to do is to please pull up an image of his app. So before we leave in the mingling segment, we can put it up so everybody can actually see. Kenya, I'd like you to come in here. This is amazing. This is just,
I think
amazing.
Like I was saying to Empress earlier that, I mean, yes, it's good to have a panel, but I really believe the answers are already in the room. I think you guys have a lot of the answers. Sometimes it's just asking the right questions to unlock the information or the knowledge that you already have in your head. You already have the gifts that you've been given, the experiences that you have, the problems that you've experienced, the ideas and the skills. It's just how to put them all together.
Yes, our story is that during COVID, a lot of young minds, they were more driven on the make money part rather and put education on the background, right? So what we developed was something around it where you could actually earn while still loving money and making money. So it's just to create a society, say, you know, now I gotta say, you have to be fully done. You understand?
Say it loud, me hear it.
You understand? So at the end of the day, you download the app, and while our database grow with questions, whether it's mathematics, English, science, or whatsoever it is, you can learn. And the thing is that it's not just for persons, students. It's for household, right? Your mother can actually download it, right? Your father, anyone can actually download it and actually play the game, earn reward. They can, whenever they reach the threshold of checking out, they just add their banking details. We'll get that from our end, right? And then we'll send over the payment through NCB.
Hey!
I think that announcing
Hey!
this at a forum like this where there are NCB representatives in the room.
In charge of the digital side at the bank.
Exactly. I think this is a great space for that kind of networking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see why you shouldn't request a meeting from the
there we
team
go.
here.
Yes.
So, the first staging of Yes Summit was in 2017. And, forgive me.
I was going to give you mine, actually.
And then, for many reasons, we didn't restage it. The first staging of Yes Summit was in 2017. For many reasons, we didn't restage it. And then the Mendezes came to see me. They had started a business, and they wanted to talk. And they mentioned how they went to the first Yes Summit in 2017 and how it had inspired them to become entrepreneurial. And that day I went to Jamilia and I was like, we have to restart this thing. So I was also sharing with Kenya that, like, if it was the one thing I was gonna do this year was get this restarted because of how powerful it was. And then to see them come back, right? Them big, them graduate, them married, have the business, them.
Right.
And they said, no, yeah, may I come back? This is where it started. So I am so inspired. You're never too big to learn. I'm always on a learning journey. So I thank you for saying yes to us.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for what you have shared and given back to us. And, you know, oh my gosh, I couldn't have imagined a better outcome for today. So thank you, guys. Sorry that I have to leave you, but I just had to share that. As I see Norval get up here one more time, and just to give credit and to let you guys know part of the impetus to bring this back and to bring it back on an annual basis. So spread the word, spread the knowledge that you brought here today, and know that you have left with us a lot as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Madam CEO. And she didn't have to stay all day. That's when you know she's passionate and she's committed. And that's where leadership begins. The fact that she's a leader and she didn't have to be, she could have popped in the morning and gone. She has her 2 daughters to take care of and a husband and the supermarket. But she stayed with us till 3:30. So let's thank her for her leadership. Thank you, Madam CEO. Madam, take another bag for your other daughter. Don't just take one bag. Take 2, please. Because you have 2 children. All right, thank you so much. Panelists, I want you to continue. We're going to give it another 5 to 10 minutes. I think it's important if you have a question to ask Kenya. Nearly called you Kenya. Don't do that. Her name is Kenya from the motherland. And Alicia Little is also online. And panelists, the young men, feel free to go into discussion about the opportunities to unlock our digital careers right now and be digitally well. What does digitally unwell look like? I think we have to look at that.
Can I chime in for a minute?
Please do, my lady.
Okay. I just wanted to chime in on those that stood up and talked about a service that they wanted to do. So the young man who stood up and talked about the public speaking that he wanted to do. So if he listed that service on Fiverr, he would say, I will give you feedback on your presentation. He would charge $15 for a 30-minute session. So $15 for every 30 minutes. And that's a service right there. I will give you feedback on your presentation. For the young lady who wanted to do the styling, she would say, set up a service. I will give you feedback on your outfits, $15 for every 3 outfits. And for the guy with the great voice, I will read to you because it is a service, and he would charge $20 US an hour to read to somebody. Kenya was talking about how people also in this time are lonely. There is a lady that is in the Level Up program, and she has a service, and she said, I will talk to your elderly parents for you. So I hired her to talk to my dad, and she talked to him for an hour and then reported back to me on how my dad was doing and what he said to her in the conversation. And she charges people to talk to their elderly parents. So all sorts of services out there. I just wanted to chime in on that real quick. Back to you, Empress.
Thank you, Alicia. That was a great, what do you call it, summary or advice, or because that's a big service. There are a lot of lonely elderly people here in Jamaica as well, busy children who have their parents at home who aren't well. And if you could just talk to them on Zoom for a couple hours and make some money, you know, great. Listen, I just love today. Who's loving today? I feel like I'm going home to lay down in my bed with my laptop and start my Fiverr. At least I need some consultation. What do y'all think I could do? What can I offer online? Let's go. What kind of entertainment? Can't dance. Eh? I'm like, okay. And that's what I want us to do tonight. Look in the mirror and say, what can I offer on the 2 platforms that were mentioned here to earn globally? No barriers to earning. And I don't really want the Jamaican dollar 2023 anyway.
Just to add to that as well, Empress, I recently did a random exercise where I asked a few friends, because I was reading this book about how to find my gifts and how to discover my purpose in 21 days. And one of the questions I did ask was, well, what are your gifts? So I decided to ask a few friends, what would you say are my gifts? Things that sometimes you do something so well, you don't think of it as a gift because you just take it for granted. In fact, we are most likely to take our gifts for granted because we feel, well, if we can do them and it's so easy, anybody else can do it, right? It's probably low value. Some of the answers I got were not the things that I thought I was even good at, you know? And hearing from another person's perspective what your gifts are might actually give you that motivation to say, okay, well, maybe this gift is something I have for a purpose. Maybe it can serve somebody else, because somebody else might need that particular gift. Like one thing that somebody said as a gift was, Kenya, boy, one thing about it, you know, they can read, you know. I'm like, why is that a gift? Him say, yeah, but it's the fact that you always look for something to read and then you learn and you apply the knowledge and then you come talk to me about it afterward. Like, I always feel like I'm learning from you because you always are reading. And many people don't take the time to read.
Well, there's a gig. I'll give you the summary of the book for $500 and give you all of the nuggets in this book, the lessons.
So don't sit on your gifts because it's not high value to you because it comes so naturally. You take it for granted. People on Fiverr, as Ms. Italy is rightfully saying, will value that and put a monetary value on it. And you might start small, but you end up growing in time as well, into developing that into something bigger than yourself. One thing I definitely don't want to leave without touching on this is that some of us may find the impetus to start our own businesses in this room. Others may want to support someone else's vision. And you may not have that drive to start your own thing because entrepreneurship is not glamorous by any stretch of the imagination. The possibilities are endless, but the headache and the stress can also be something that you'll have to definitely think about. Is this something that you want to take on, right? And you might want to build yourself up to that point. So there's no shame in saying that you want to work with someone else. You want to partner with somebody who might be in this room who had an idea that you feel motivated by. Talk to them and say, how can I support you? And then that's where building teams comes in, because no man is an island, even in a digital space. If you want to grow and scale, then you're going to start thinking about employing people, collaborating with people, and partnering with people. And as far as I'm concerned, people management is really what project management is. If you talk about project management, it's really people management. And there are 3 skills that I would not want to leave here without sharing that I wish more graduates would come to us with from a university level. By the way, the company that I founded in 2013 was, it's called Listen Me Caribbean. It's an animation company. So we're really a storytelling company at our core, and we produce animations and interactive web products to help people tell their stories, and we're also creating our own. Like we just did a trailer for a Lover's Leap short that we are creating as well. You saw it? Awesome, yeah. So, follow us at Listen Me Now on all social media platforms to see some of the stories that we are telling in an animated format, especially for kids. But, working in this digital space, in the animation and the gaming industry, you would think that the main skills are what? Art, and what else? And creativity, yeah. Any other key skills that you think we look for? Editing, okay. Graphic design. Programming as well to actually build apps that what we're doing can go into. So one key skill that I wish we were seeing in more graduates is actually managing your manager. I wish more people knew how to manage up. What I mean by that is, and I want to make sure I say it in a way that will make sense and not scare you away from it. But your manager, who you will report to, and if you're a manager as well, this is something you will, after a while, value in people that will work with you in a digital field, right? Especially when you're working remotely. Managers don't have a lot of time. Managers don't even have time to check their social media, right? And they may need to pay somebody to watch social media for them and tell them what's on social media. But when you are speaking to your manager and you are saying, well, and I think I actually thought of an example that actually occurred to me. So let's just say that somebody comes to me and says, I have hired you to put on a digital event. And one of the things you have to do is, you have to put together a budget, right? So you have to get different quotes from different suppliers. And you, as the new person coming in, you have found all the quotes, you've done all the research, and you give to your manager, here's all the information for you to choose a supplier. That's actually not what your manager wants. What your manager wants is for you to say, I have done some research on different suppliers. I know what the goals of the event are, and I know what our budgetary constraints are as well. So using that information, I have figured out and shortlisted 1 or 2 people that I think would be great for this particular service. I've shown all my work. I've shown my recommendation. It's really for you to look it over and to tell me if you agree. Why is that important? Decision making is work. If you've ever had to make a hard decision in your life, you know that it takes brain power. Sometimes when you finish thinking about a decision, you're hungry. You feel tired, you have to lie down. Within any given day, we have a quota on the number of decisions that we can make in a day before fatigue starts to set in. So if you can limit the number of decisions that your manager has to make, you're automatically adding value to their day and showing that you have taken on some of that burden of decision making and some of that work, and that you're proving how you're using your critical thinking skills to help them to do what they are doing and also to help you as well.
And they're the soft skills that employers are looking for.
Right.
And if you want to be recommended or highly recommended, you need to come with an A game. It's a very competitive space. And, you know, I want to just add to that, as somebody that works with young people, I have a new rule that if I have to teach you, you pay me.
Yeah.
If you come in and you expect to be paid and every minute may I stop to show you what to do, you need to pay me like when
Things
you go
that are
school.
Googleable.
Oh, very Googleable. Googleable? Googleable. Brand new one. Brand new word. Fully bright, fully bright.
When you bring that to the table, when you've shown that you've done some of that mental legwork.
Very important
yourself,
lesson, guys.
You are instantly somebody who I can now call on for recommendations in a meeting. What do you think? What do you think? What's your opinion? You know what I mean? That's one thing. So managing your manager is something I wish more graduates had.
And if more graduates could come a little bit more humble. When you walk into a space, and I'm going to talk.
Yeah, you talk about that one.
Because them say them will cancel me. One of my mentees, Sujay Boswell, said, Empress, you can't go around and say them things, them youth will cancel. They are going to cancel me today. When you walk into a space and you know nothing, humble yourself. Stop chat back like you know because you read it. You don't know nothing until you've experienced it. Amen. And you see, we who come 30 years, we've been in the game 20 years, we know a lot more than you could ever come in and know. Not saying you don't know. Not saying you haven't researched a new trend and can bring a new idea. And we have to listen as well. But when we're talking to, especially in business, we ain't got time. Your competitors are honest. We got to go. We're not trying to sit on and argue with you about da-da-da-da. You show up late, there's a consequence for that. And you have to ask, what do I bring to this organization? When you work somewhere, you work for yourself. People don't pay you anymore. It don't work so. Because you say after 2 months, you not do nothing to grow the business, we don't want you. It's a waste of space right now. And that's the reality of the world. You understand? Somebody else is lining up for that job. Yeah? So you have to take this thing seriously and humble yourself when somebody's saying, brother, and stop getting your feelings and emotional. Oh, I feel. Everybody really oversensitive nowadays. All right? You got to put on some thick skin out there. It's rough. Treacherous waters. Storms are coming. What you going to do? Buckle and cry? Or are you going to stand up and weather the storm? Because it's about growth and survival. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Trust me. When your manager have to teach you, remember say you owe them something for the lesson. You understand what I'm saying? We love to teach. We love to share. But if you're coming and all we are doing, the time we're supposed to be in that meeting, we're teaching you. Now who pays for that? Time is money. Are you paying for that time? So respect that. And humble yourself so that we can write that recommendation letter. Because I ain't writing it. Don't ask Empress Golden. Everybody in here that knows me, 6 of you have worked with me before, knows that me not write your you can't even ask me. You know say, me you never too good. You understand what I say? I don't want nobody coming, oh, you just recommend Empress. How would that? So, remember, you have to show up and remember everything that you do when you go into an organization, you are being watched, evaluated, even how you smell.
Luckily with online, however.
Why are you going back online? No, Kenya. No, listen. Hey, Kenya. No.
But
no.
I do recommend, even before Zoom meetings, it makes you participate better when you brush your teeth. I have experienced this, and I highly recommend it. Brush your teeth and wash your face.
Because you can see it online.
You feel it. You feel better
You see
when you're
and
fresh.
no, but I can see your plaque online. What I'm saying, no, this one is very important, and it's because we have an opportunity. You see, when you walk in an office and your perfume overbearing, it's too much Victoria's Secret, love. Do a 1 spray. I eat the food and I taste the Victoria's Secret. It's too much. You have to understand people relations. And if you know that you didn't wash your shirt last night because Jamaica hot and you're traveling, you never wash your brassiere and you have big breasts or small breasts and you're sweating and you wear the same bra 3-4 times and the underarm in the same shirt, you smell kind of frowsy, but nobody was bold enough to tell you except Empress Golding. You got to check yourself. Smell all right? Because you never know. But we got to look after each other. So no feel no way. But you have to, and I think you got to respect your friend too and your colleague in the office. Say, boy, you know, sir, right, I know. Funky. And we don't want nobody talking about you behind your back. But these are just workplace skills that you have to be aware of. Right? Because people say, I don't really want to hire she again. Because when she or he come, my God, the boss, no, sir. You don't want to be that guy. So my last 2 cents, I'm going to go grab a glass of water while Kenya takes over and brings us back.
Okay, I can speak once more before. All right, so as Empress mentioned that, I think a big part of our digital wellness is our digital space, right? So first, personal branding. So you want to be a software engineer. You can't be, I don't think you should be, better yet, rather than I don't think, I believe that you should be posting, let's say, stuff related to what you want to do. Let's say I go on your page, you want to be a graphic designer. You post memes, none of them are designed by you. I don't see anything that says you're a software engineer. I don't see anything that maps where you want to go. I won't know, right? And the second thing would be what you post, rather than your professional life, your social life, what you post. You can't. I know some of us we might send a message to one person, and then 2 days later we cringe at it. So imagine you posting something to the entire world, and then 2 days later you realize, you should have posted that in the first place. So I think minding what we post in our digital space is a big part of our digital wellness.
Yeah.
I just had 3 things I wanted to mention. One was managing manager. Did that make sense, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, you want to hear the other 2, or is that too much?
Yes.
Okay, so the second one is one thing that I think is a skill I wish more new graduates had that come to us, is how to ask helpful questions. And here is a question that sometimes you might be asked. Should we do A or B? Do you feel like you can answer that question just by what I've said?
No.
No. You know why you can't? Because as a person that you're asking that to, let's say it's a manager, they're coming into this conversation with you, assume it's with 0 context. They've just had 3 meetings, then Pitney was calling them, they just come off the road, they're thinking about investment opportunities for the business and some of the challenges and cash flow, and then you ask, so should we choose A or B? I'm like, listen, I have to reorient myself to have this conversation with you.
Or should I call Shanique? And who's Shanique? Instead of saying, remember the lady that we were thinking about for the so-and-so, Shanique, should we call her?
Okay.
We can't remember Shanique. Hi, Shanique, where is she?
But
she
like,
gone?
exactly.
Oh, she gone, she was here.
So a helpful question, or wording it in a helpful way, is giving the person that you're speaking to, this is a colleague, a manager, anyone else, a potential partner, enough context that if they're entering this conversation fresh, they should be able to ask informed questions based on what you've said. So it might look like, okay, and by the way, I prefer, a lot of times when people don't even ask questions, it's because you don't want to look dumb. I prefer that you're dumb, that you look dumb rather than actually be mute, just not say anything at all. Because I'd rather you ask a bunch of questions that show me that you're thinking rather than me not knowing that there's an iceberg ahead, but you never want to ask the question, sir, you sure we should go over there? So, me not say nothing because them shouldn't know where them a go, so me not ask the question. When we crash now, you know, so me not think about it, but I just true, we never really want. We're not going to tell you, but I just true. Me say, well, you should have known still because of you name what you name still and me just still. No, we're all seeing different things. So just asking a question and not being afraid to look or appear like you don't know. I'm happy to say I'm not the smartest person in the room and I will ask dumb questions. But here's how you can ask a dumb question, quote unquote, because no question is dumb, in a helpful way. It might be, okay, so I know that the goal that we're trying to achieve is X. And based on that goal, here are some constraints that I think we have. We have a budgetary constraint, we have a time constraint, we have a people constraint. Considering those things, here are some options that I'd like to put on the table, right? We can probably solve this problem in A way or a B way. Here's the thing though. It's the A way, it can help us to solve the budget problem, but it's not going to give us the vibe we want for the event. Using the same event analogy then. Here's one supplier who, our price kind of high still, but she giving us the impact that we want. Another person who is well within our budget, but I'm not sure if the event is going to achieve its goals. So, but I think this is the primary thing we want to achieve. We want to achieve impact. So even if we're a little over budget now, I think that it's a risk that we can take for the event. So do you agree that we should go with this person because that will help us to achieve the long-term goal of this project, even if we're over budget? So it was a long way of saying it, but believe me, that additional context of reminding me again, what's the goal? What's the constraints? What's the pros and cons of each of those options? And then at the end of it saying, well, based on A and B, I think that A would more fit within our goals and within our constraints. Do you agree? That is a helpful question rather than, should I choose A or B? Because no, again, you're putting the burden of thinking on the other person rather than taking on some of that mental work and doing it yourself, right? That's the second thing. The third and final, not the final, but the third thing I'll share today in terms of things or skill, and by the way, that comes back to critical thinking. A lot of us don't like to think because it's work. But thinking helps everyone in the process to do their job a lot better. Third and final one, I wish that as more graduates had the skill to run a meeting. Running a meeting is a skill that if you hone well, and this is whether you're a Fiverr, freelancer, or you're within a company, or you're running your own, geothermal energy company, it can set you apart so much compared with other people in the organization. Because it shows that you are able to use critical thinking to manage people's time in a way that can help the organization to achieve its goals, especially when a lot of our meetings are online nowadays. Nobody wants to sit in a meeting that should have been an email, and no one wants to sit in a meeting for half an hour longer than it was actually budgeted for, because I've budgeted my time. So, I think that every meeting, if it's run well, first of all, it's very similar to the first two things I said. What do you think is the first thing the meeting should have? Before you have an agenda. Not a date and time. What you said? No, somebody else. I heard somebody say objective. It needs to have a goal.
Was that you, Tashana Mullings? You did? The community builder, Shevening scholar from St. Thomas. Let's welcome Tashana Mullings. She's a great leader in her community. I have watched her grow, and I just want to say, be like Tashana. But not lie. She's an amazing young woman and somebody you must really watch. She has the right work ethic, just absolutely powerful young woman from St. Thomas. So I want to just welcome her in the room.
Thank you.
You're from St. Thomas in the building? Okay. Oh, Morant Bay High, woo!
Who was it that said objective? Was it you?
Yeah, it was Tashana.
Tell us why. Why is that the first thing?
You didn't even know you were going to. She's always on the microphone, quite a dynamic speaker.
I'm over here hiding in plain sight,
Yes.
hoping that they wouldn't call me out. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
All right, great. So in everything that you're doing, including meetings, it's very important to have a clear goal. Why are you having this meeting? What are you trying to get out of this meeting so you're not just rambling around? And then at the end of the meeting, you come out with clear objective plans, actions that people are actually going to execute. So you're actually meeting real goals.
Thank
Yes.
you. Exactly. Before you even talk about the when, I want to know why. Because for me to give you my time, we only have a limited number of minutes on this earth. So when I'm carving out time out of my day to meet with you, I'm literally giving you a piece of myself, giving you a piece of my soul. Because I'm not just going to sit in the meeting and just listen. I'm going to participate. I'm going to actually contribute. So you're getting me. So why you want me? Why should I be there? Tell me why. I think I deserve to know why you want to meet with me. Because I want to know at the end of the day that I'm going to be better off for it and that you will be too. You should never have a meeting where the goal is to discuss. Discuss and then what? After you discuss, then what? Is it to decide on something? Is it to agree to something? Is it to clarify something? Because maybe you're emailing back and forth, but the email not so clear. So the goal of this meeting is to clarify. You understand? The discussion is a means to an end. Therefore, if you have a goal and you decide on the constraints, which is you don't want to have 50 people in the meeting because then it won't be worth everybody's time. So the constraints are who will be there, what expertise will they bring to the table, and how much time you should carve out. Then you should know within that limited amount of time and with those persons in the room, what can you meaningfully achieve? And that's where the agenda comes in. So if you only have 30 minutes, you can't talk about 7 things meaningfully in 30 minutes. Unless you're Elon Musk and he just gives you like 5 minutes of your time and that's it. You might need 10 minutes to really go around and to decide on something. So maybe you have 3 things you want to decide on. So at the end of the meeting today, I'd like to meet with you to discuss and agree to, or to decide on which supplier we're going to choose, using the same example. In 30 minutes, I want us to look at the options that they have presented. I will walk you through my recommendations, and I'll ask you for your input on what I might have overlooked, or, different things. You have questions in your mind that you probably want their input on, put those in the agenda. Questions I'd like for you to come prepared with are A, B, and C. And end of the call, I want us to finally choose this so that we can now send out the RFP, the request for proposal. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very action-oriented, and I feel like, okay, I already know at the end of this call what I will accomplish and how I can help to move that thing along. This is something that I am still working on, to be very honest with you. I'm not naturally great at setting meetings because it took me a while to even understand the concept, some of the concepts I'm sharing with you. And so it's something that because I'm still working on, I'm very sensitive to it when new persons are joining the team. And it's something that I really wish that more of us were great at, because I think it would help us to run better teams, run better businesses, design better products, ship them more quickly because we're not wasting time, and just be more efficient in how we work, especially remotely in a digital space. So those are my 3 things. Manage your manager, ask helpful questions, and I also wish everyone knew how to run a meeting when they join a company. That's it.
Essential Skills by Kenya Mattis. Let's give her a round of applause again. Well, I learned something today. How many of you learned more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things today? Well, today was a successful day, and we give thanks for that. This is a great network. This is a great team here, and so we're going to have a networking session as we exit today. There's some sandwiches outside, but before we do that, I want to encourage you all, please, and there's free Wi-Fi, to scan the second event feedback form barcode right here, the second one. We need your feedback. There's no use us doing this and spending money if we don't get your feedback. We need to know that there was something useful here for you today, or we need to know what we need to do more of or do better. And feedback, yeah, we have to self-evaluate as well in your own life. Periodically check on yourself. Am I doing enough? Am I doing well? You understand? What are people saying about me? What are my gifts? But you have to do some kind of evaluation on self, and we need to do that for the foundation and this summit so we can make it better next time around, hopefully next year. Director Mattis, Jamila, next year? Okay. So please, scan it. Who doesn't have one of the flyers? Oh. Okay, we're going to run them through the crowd. Here you are. So please. Yes, sir. You have a question? Go ahead. You can ask.
Okay, so based on what you said about managing your manager, so what would you recommend? What would you recommend for the graduates? All right, so let me rephrase that. All right, so as the computing department representative, I am about advocacy, and I'm advocating for students, for all the students within the department, and that also means the persons that will be graduating. So when you said that you would like for graduates to be able to manage your manager, I thought of how, what are they missing? Okay. So I want you to tell me, what would you recommend for the graduates to earn this skill of managing your manager?
Okay, thank you very much. Here's one thing that I think would really help. It helps me because I have to manage up as well. No matter what you're doing, you have to manage up. Whether you're a CEO, you're managing your investors. Whether you're a recent hiree, you're managing your supervisor. But one thing that's really helpful is, first of all, understanding what your manager's goals are. What's important to them? What are they trying to achieve? And what do they want you to achieve at the end of the day, right? So that might, and sometimes finding that out might take some impetus from you. Sometimes it's you asking the question on a weekly basis. What are your goals for next week, for instance? Or what are we trying to achieve for this month or for this period or whatever it is? And if you know what their goals are, whether it's for the specific project or the time period, and that is really valuable, because then you know how you should set up your time. Then you know what are the things that they are trying to achieve. And then it also gives you some insight into what not to do, right? So it gives you some insight into what to put on their table and what is not the right time for right now, for instance. The second thing after you know, let's say that you're in the computing department and you know what their goals are. You can even suggest new ideas to help them achieve those goals that are not currently on the table. People, especially if you're in a digital business, they love to have an idea bank. Somewhere where you can, at least, if we can't act on all the ideas now, you can store them. So you say, that idea that you had that time, I think it would be good for us to act on it another time. You know what I mean? So it shows that you're thinking about what their goals are. And then the third thing is, when you are actually put on a project now and you have to work with your manager, the worst thing that you want to do is, what you should be doing, because you know their goals and because you know what the project constraints are, is that you should not be pushing work upward. You should be removing friction from the process. If you can remove friction by the process, and by what I mean by that is, if you see that that you have a goal that you need to accomplish by Friday, we need to have a site visit for X, or we need to, we need to actually return to a customer by Y. You were not assigned to the specific thing of schedule a meeting with the site visit manager. However, you know it needs to be done, and you see that there is a gap which has not yet been filled by anybody else. You can prompt your manager. Fill in that gap and say, I noticed that in order to achieve that goal, there's something that's missing that has to be done. It might not be assigned to anybody. Should I jump in and do it? Offering your help because you know what their goals are. You can see the cracks where they are not seeing it because they're not looking at those things. And if you can do that by removing problems from their plate, but also seeing what those gaps are and at least being able to navigate them or to suggest ways to navigate them, then that is instantaneously like a huge value that you can provide to your manager. And I think do you have a comment as well? Oh, please, you can jump in as well.
No insurance here today.
Right.
Right, James?
All right, cool. I just wanted to make an addition to what she was saying about solving your boss's problem. And as a young person who enters the workplace, how you can actually be promoted and actually star up the workplace, right? So I actually like acronyms. So I'm going to use the acronym STAR. And I know that when you say acronyms, it actually gets people to write. All right? So this concept of managing your boss's problem is one that my mentor is big on. So in managing your boss's problem, it begins with problem solving. So everybody knows the SMART acronym. So that's the first thing. So that's what the S is for. It's a SMART acronym. So in whatever role you are, you look at what the company's strategic objective is, and what is your strategic objective as an employee. So you look at your role, you look at your strategic objectives and how it fits in the strategic objectives of the company. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So your objective is to grow in a particular way towards a particular end. So you're going to create strategic objectives based on there. So if you're in a marketing company, what would a marketing company be trying to do? To increase sales through getting the product in front of people. So you want to become a more developed marketer. Let's put it that way. So you have that personal goal. So that personal goal is built into the strategic goal. So you create a set of SMART goals based on the company's strategic goals. That's the S, okay? So SMART goals based on the company's strategic goals aligned with your personal strategic goals. That make sense? The next one is tenacity. The workplace is tough. Usually when you're going to high school, college, you're Instagramming, TikToking, keeping up with schoolwork enough so your mother don't lick off your head top. But when you get into the workplace, it's the real deal. Empress mentioned earlier about your feelings and whatever. A lot of those things are going to get crushed. You know what was hard for me to learn as well? That I would also hurt people's feelings. Because I'm the type of feeling, say, me don't want to hurt nobody. Me don't want to step on no toes. Empress, you step on enough toes, don't it? You have stepped on a lot of toes, sometimes unintentionally. Whole heap of toes. So you have to develop tenacity for the workplace. You have to have the grapevine stuff. And those of you who are young and smart, and you come in on fire, not everybody's going to immediately love you. You understand? As a matter of fact, it's more likely to find energies that's on the other side. Because you're young and full of so much talent and energy, and some of you at 19, what you're achieving at 51, some people are still struggling to achieve.
And they may feel very threatened.
Very
You have to know
threatened.
how to navigate.
And they will make sure you know that they are feeling threatened. So the other thing is ambition. Very important. So you have to have an ambition. You're not just there to stay in one post for the rest of your life. I went into a financial institution with a psychology degree and was able to be promoted 4 times and then headhunted by a company and resigned 2 months after that to go do my own thing anyway. The point is, the way you show up, when you come with questions, is with questions towards solving a problem. You're not going to ask, so how this go? So why we do? So where is whatever? You're going to say, I've observed that, this and that, so I'm wondering if we can take this approach. You understand? So you're asking a question, but in the question, you're offering a solution. So when the manager is thinking about promotion, whose name is on top? Call your name now. Whose name is on top? Who name mine? Whose name is on top? All right, me hear you now. And then the last thing is reliability. So when I send you an email and I say, listen, Miss Williams, I sent you an email, you can say, me see it. I should know that you have seen it based on the response.
My God.
So I work in the UK.
Noted.
I work in the UK context, and the email is almost like a text message. People respond in 24 hours.
Or less.
People get mad by tomorrow morning if you didn't answer their email from yesterday. That is an offense. So if you're just extremely reliable and always on time, trust me, you're going to really stand out. All right? So it's fully bright and it's front of the class when you enter the workplace.
Fully bright. I love it. You know, I have a feeling that, you know, Tashana, thank you. Always. I think we need about 3 more days. We should sleep in here tonight. Wake up for breakfast. Catering was good. I enjoyed the caterer. We could wake up, do breakfast. And there's one more thing I want to add to that too, Tashana. A lot of you are so fully bright, and I love the exuberance, but stop overcommitting. You're doing 5 billion things, and you're not doing them all well. And so you let down one because you overcommit. So be very careful. Focus on 1, 2, 3 things. You don't have to be all for everybody. You don't have to please everybody. You don't have to say yes to anything else except this summit. If you're not going to be able to perform, you know what I mean? But you got to show up. But you have to know when to also take a step back. Like when I left NCB, I meant Edna Manley. I'm not leave NCB Foundation ever. Did I just say? Yeah, doing too many things. I had to know when I quit Edna Manley, I'm leaving nationwide on the 23rd of December, first public announcement. Yes, sometimes you have to know when to step away so that something else can come and you can spend more time being better at the thing that you're doing instead of people saying, Lord God, them can't show up. And I'm not pointing no fingers at all of you who's so busy. And sometimes I'm like, why did you say you're going to do it and you can't do it? Because you don't have time. Why are you laughing, Sabrina? Because I'm talking to Damon and Jada? Like, sorry, I can't help myself. That's why they say, Empress, you know, if I have the microphone all the time, you know. When you're bright, but you have to stop overcommit. You do a million things and then you can't perform them all well. So know when to step away, come back in, but just stop overcommitting and underperforming. Yeah? Very important life lesson. I know you want to be the greatest and you all want a Governor General Award and you all want a Prime Minister's Award with all these things on your resume, but then really and truly, you need a recommendation. So as much as you're trying to do all of that, if you're not doing it well, then nobody's going to want to recommend you. Just a little bit of mommy advice. I'm too young to be your mom, but you know what I mean. Kenya, everybody, have you scanned the survey feedback form? Did you enjoy today? Yes. Yes to receiving the blessings. Yes to receiving the wealth of knowledge here for your digital wellness, your financial wellness, and your mental wellness. And we're all online in that digital world. Make it count, make it healthy physically for you, mentally and financially, all right, in that space. So again, as director and host, playing two roles today, moderator, my feet are tired. I've been standing. I got an award. Who stood up the longest today? Cause you up and you sit down. May I watch you, come and say, may I come for the award today? I enjoyed it. I am lifted. And we're saying yes to greatness. So continue doing you, but doing it better. Thank you, panelists, Director Alicia Online. I want to thank the tech team as well. Thank you so much. That's a lot of work. Come on, let's pick up our videographers here today. Thanks for being you. Thanks for showing up. We really need your response. Please don't leave without filling in the feedback form, including the Talk Up Youth group, even though you came late. But they weren't planning on coming. They surprised us. So let's welcome the team from the radio show. And my daughter is here to pick me up. So, yeah. Come, Zippy. So we're going to mingle and have some fun right now. To the team, NCB team, Zonia, Jamila, everybody, thank you. Thank you guys so much. And I do have some random giveaways. I'll walk through the room. But as we mingle, please make sure you shake hands and get the gift of the person that wears the same color shirt as you. Exchange numbers, yeah? Because it's a network. And then keep that link. All right? So, again, well done. Please, we have some light refreshments outside, and we're going to play a little music, mingle, network. I'll walk through and let's welcome my daughter, Zipporah. Woo! Zippy, who's that, man? No joke. Welcome my husband, Steven. All right, so, see Auntie Jada? Look, remember Auntie Jada? All right, so we're going to mingle.
Let us also give a round of applause to Empress, our lovely host for the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being your moderator and fellow director, Lady Mattis, and we can make our lives better and our country's life better with the skills that we've attained today. So again, thank you. Woo!